Hello. Hey, it's Fran. So I am, as you can tell by my background, I am not home. I am at my mother's house, still kind of out. We came out here for the kid's birthday to have like a family birthday party, and I promptly got sick. So I'm sick, but it's kind of making me like not want to show up, but I'm like, no, I need to show up because this thing has been in the back of my mind since last week, I think. I started telling you about how to win with money after age 40, like how to win life with money after age 40. I told you about the 7 C's system. And I told you about the first one, which was clarity. And I was like, tomorrow I'll come on and tell you about confidence, which is number 2. And then life happened, right? Like #life happened, which is also a funny story that I definitely need to tell you at another time. Hey, Jairus. Yay, it's telling me that people are on. Okay, good. I can kind of see. So come on and let me like say something so I can see if I can see comments. All right. I'm so snotty, y'all. It's not even funny. But anyway, so I'm going to tell you about this. Okay. So if you're over 40 and you are looking back at your life and you're like, I totally screwed up. Like, these people are out here making millions and I should have been making millions. I should have had millions by now, but I spent all my money. Like, you just feel like trash about your past history. Do not fear. Like, it's never too late. You could be over 40, over 50, over 60. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can start today. You can still win with money. So here is the thing. I told you about clarity. So the first thing you need to do is just really get clarity about what you have. Hey, Jennifer. You need to get clarity about what you actually have. You know, you need to get it all out there on the table to find out if you have some diamonds hidden in your stack of mess, right? Because you could. I had diamonds hidden in my mess. And then you need to get confidence. And the way that you get confidence is by learning what you need to know about your money. Now, this can be intimidating. This was certainly intimidating for me. I kind of did this like on the backside, right? Like, I figured out that I wanted to learn what I needed to know to help my kids. And that's how it started. And so I would have been scared if I was like, I need to learn about financial planning or anything like super, like highbrow, like, oh, I need to learn all these complicated concepts. I need to learn about economics. No, I just wanted to learn about what was right in front of me right at that moment. So I took it in baby steps and I didn't overthink it and I didn't make myself think that I needed to know everything there is to know about money. I just tell myself, you know what, you just need to learn how to figure out how to get out of debt. Like, that's it. Just figure that out. Right? And so once you do that and you just start listening, I was listening to podcasts, I was reading books or listening to audiobooks. Once you just learn what you need to know for your own personal situation, then you get the confidence to start asking questions. Hey, Brandy. You get the confidence to just start asking questions to people who are in, quote unquote, authority over your money. So I would go to the bank and ask them questions and like schedule meetings and stuff, because it's like, it's my money. I have it here at the bank. I don't really know what's going on. Like, they should be able to take time. These kids, y'all, look. They should be able to take their time out to educate me because it's my money, right? We had a financial planner at that time who he spent a lot of time educating us. And so I could give his spiel. Like, I had been working with them for like 9 or 10 years. And I could tell you like what he was going to tell us because I had heard it so many times. I had really studied it. But the problem was, the way he taught it was to his advantage. Like, he was teaching us about policies and insurances and things that he was benefiting from selling. And so I knew what the benefits were of the products that he sold us, to the point where like I could sell it to somebody else. Like, I knew what he was selling, but what I didn't understand was why it wasn't right for me. Right? And so what I learned is why this policy is not right for me. And then I was able to ask him questions like, well, really intelligent questions about my life in the way it pertained to me. And that came from confidence. And confidence will come from you feeling like you don't, your power isn't given away. And so what happens is We give our power away to someone who is smarter or who is credentialed or who knows more about that topic. And then we don't feel confident enough to challenge the person when they may be doing something that's not right for our situation. And so that's where the confidence comes from. The second thing that you need when you're over 40 is the confidence to be able to challenge those who are in authority, to take up space, take up space, take up room, my daughter did this. It's a mood changing nail polish that peels off on its own. Anyway, to set an appointment with a financial person and to feel completely within your power to ask them questions that maybe you would feel like you don't have the right to ask, and just be like, F it, this is my money, I want to know, right? And it got to be to the point where like I knew my stuff. I was listening to podcasts, I was listening to these financial books, I was all up on Dave Ramsey, shout out to Papa Dave. And we had a meeting with our financial planner that we had had for 9 or 10 years. And I started asking difficult questions, and he started hee-hawing, and I was calling him out on his BS. And it got to the point where it was a little bit contentious, and I am not that person, right? Like, I was like straight up people pleaser. Like, you tell me something, I'm like, oh, okay, great, But I knew my stuff, and I knew I could smell the BS that he was serving. And it got to the point where my husband was like, okay, let's just, we're going to agree to disagree. Let's table this conversation and come back to it later. Like, he had to shut it down and just be like, he told me, because I was like, no, I want to finish asking my questions, right? I mean, I wasn't like all like that, but I was really like, I felt like he was telling us a load of garbage. And we got off the phone, and my husband was like, I just had to shut that down because you were getting nowhere, he was getting nowhere, like you guys were both like not gonna come to any kind of agreement. And I was mad because I'm like, it's my money. The financial planner didn't want to give us the information about our account. And he didn't, because he knew, like, the questions I was asking showed him, like, you could tell I wanted to close it. I was like, we're done, right? And I hadn't said that to him yet, but you could just tell by the question, like, this. When people start asking questions, then it's like, uh-oh, like she knows some stuff about this. Like, it's a scam, right? I'm like, this is a scam. And so he didn't want to like answer my questions directly. So my husband was like, no, let's talk about this later. And sure enough, it took about 5 or 6 months, but those accounts were closed, and the money that came from those accounts paid off 6 of our debts. We had 8 debts on the debt snowball, and it paid off the first 6, like, boom, in one day, 6 of my debts were gone, right? That came from me having a confidence to speak up for myself. And the confidence came from me thinking about it, like just sitting in the thought of like, what if, why? Just being curious about looking at my finances. So I had clarity. I had everything in front of me where I was like, okay, this is what it is. Now, why? Why do we have this? Why are we doing that? Why are we using this? And just getting curious about it. Is there a better way? Is there another way? And then having the confidence to ask those questions and challenge those people. Also had the confidence to schedule an appointment at the bank. Take all my money from this other financial planner, all my retirement, everything, sit down with the banker and not just say, here's my money, I want you to do what you think is right. No, I sat down to interview him and ask him questions to find out if he was the right banker for me, right? As opposed to saying, oh, he's a banker, he must know what to do with my money. No, F that, we're not doing that again. What we're doing is interviewing people to find out if they deserve our business. Because I knew that I was an important person. I hadn't known that before, but I was like, I'm an important person and I can bring money to this establishment. So you convince me of why I should use you, right? So we did that. My lips are so dry, y'all, because I'm so sick. I've been taking all this decongestant. So I'm urging you to get into this place where you feel like you are worthy to make demands on people when it's their job to serve you, and to make sure that you're confident enough to ask all your questions. Like, get all your questions asked until you feel satisfied with the answers. Like, don't just say like, okay, that sounds about right. No, like, I've done my homework before I come in here. I'm looking for specific answers. I'm looking for specific keywords, buzzwords, and things that I'm waiting for you to say for me to put my confidence in you. And if I don't hear that, then I know there's like abundance in the universe. There are other establishments where I can take my money. And so that's what we did. And so that was a huge, like at that point, I felt like my husband, he has been educating himself a lot now. I hear him listen to financial podcasts and things like that. And I remember back then, I knew so much more about money than he did. He's just like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like I've been studying. I've been studying because we are not getting taken for a ride. And so I was over 40. I was 41, and I had made a lot of what some would say are mistakes, but choices, right? I made a lot of choices, and I had just decided that I wanted to win. Like I didn't want to continue on the same path that I was at. I wanted to change my destiny, change my family tree, change my kids' destiny with money. And so these are the steps that I had to take. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys about today is confidence. So we had clarity. Once you get clarity, then you start looking at things and you start learning about things and asking questions. You don't need to learn every single thing about the financial structure and how money works and all that stuff. That will come with time. All you need to do is take the first step and ask a question about what's in front of you when you're getting clarity. And that will lead to more questions, and that will lead to more things that you learn. And before you know it, you will know so much that you'll be like, oh my gosh, like you'll be talking to somebody and you're like, holy crap, I actually know. It's like you crack code. Like when you're in a like speaking with someone, like maybe they speak Spanish or something, and then you learn a little bit and you're like, oh my gosh, it's not like all one word. Like I can pick out individual words. Like I know what's going on, right? Like that's what it feels like when you start learning a little bit about money. So I want to plug this group that I am creating. I am creating a coaching program called the Everyday Manifesting Members Club. And the reason for it is that I don't think that people should have to do this the way I did it. Like I did it by myself. I was bumbling around in the dark. Like I was trying to figure things out. I had a 2-hour commute, so I had plenty of time to listen to tons of podcasts, tons of books, all the books, okay? Like so much. Paid so much money for Dave Ramsey coaching, paid so much money for personal coaches, and I really took kind of like the long route. And I want to create a membership, I am creating a membership where you can do this easier, quicker, and take the shortcut route for what I went through. Because maybe you're a busy person, you don't have time to listen to all the books and listen to all the podcasts. Like that is just not a possibility for you, but you still want to get clarity and you still want to have confidence. You still want to win with money. That's the whole purpose of this group. I am a Dave Ramsey certified financial coach who's about to cough right now. Hold on. There are my kids. I am a Dave Ramsey certified master financial coach, and I don't think everybody needs the whole spectrum of what that means, but I think that I need to meet you where you are and help you come up with a plan to get out of debt. It took me 14 months to get out of over $500,000 in debt. I think that if you knew what I know now, it wouldn't even take you that long. It sounds crazy, right? Like, it wouldn't even take you that long. That was 14 months from the time that I realized that I had that much debt to the time that I was doing a happy dance because it was all gone. And I probably could have done it sooner if I had a coach. But I didn't even know financial coaches existed. So, Everyday Manifesting Members Club, it is a thing. I am working, like right now, I am working on creating the information page for it. It'll be up in a little while, so if you happen to find it, if you just happen to find it, then you'll be able to see what it's all about. But that is what's going on right now, and yeah, so that's it. But until that that club is available, feel free to get a budget diary, because that's what I'm using to coach from. Those are the steps, and yeah, that's where we are. So that is step 2 of how to win with money when you're over 40. I have 5 more steps, but I will tell you those later. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.